Yo, what is good? YouTube family. Sorry. So talking about what happens when we choose to suppress our emotions and really dim our light, because we're all born of the light, we're all a part of the light, and when we choose to dim our emotions, we live in resistance to our light. We stray from that. Now the light's always there. It's always there for you. It really is, even if you don't feel it. Like, our emotions are our navigation. They're our navigation for life. They're a tool. They're there for. They're showing us something. They're always, they're showing us how to work with life, and they're really beautiful, right? Even the super dark emotions and all this, negative things that, in this day and age, a lot of people perceive as like we shouldn't feel them, but they're there for good reason anyway. They're for me, I see them as showing us where we're in resistance and where we're out of alignment with our truth. That's how I feel. So anyone, like, we're all put on this world, this earth, to express ourselves at our fullest capability. That's why we're here. We're here to be in full expression and be full on and be in our soul's true expression. That's why we're here. Like, our emotions are our greatest gift, and when we choose to run away from our emotions, and we really create resistance with life. We make things harder for ourselves. Now I understand, like, trauma and how it's not an easy topic, right? It's there's a lot that goes with it, and it's not just about being able to just face that, because trauma runs deep, and sometimes we've really got to do some real soul searching to really pull that out of ourselves. But the thing with trauma and like suppressed emotions is that it really keeps us in resistance to life, and you may not even know that you're holding trauma, and it'll be in the background, like it'll come up every so often, and then it'll go back down. But the thing about that is it's always there, and it'll always come back up until it's seen and heard and brought back to light and loved, really, and nurtured. Trauma's got to be, and your emotions that you've suppressed, they've got to be treated like a child. You've got to really nurture them and work with them, and really you have to treat it like a child. So when we are in resistance, whether that be through like trauma, just suppressing emotions and creating a build-up of things we're not allowing ourselves to feel, we put ourselves in karmic patterns. And anyone that's everyone's gone through this, right? So you can see that how that reflects through your external world, your relationships, your family. Like, for me, it was even like where you're born, and like if we're talking ancestral trauma and certain things, that's a different topic. But it'll reflect your external world, the things you're doing, the food you're eating, the relationships, the people you meet, just everything will be a reflection of internally what's going on. That's how I see it, at least. You don't have to see it like that, but yeah. And you know, I've seen with people that they think that when these emotions come up, suppressed emotions, they come back up, that, you know, and then they either react out of that or, like, you know, express it, and then they think it's gone and then it'll settle down. But that's expressing those things, especially like volatile, you know, expression, and it doesn't necessarily bring those things back to the light, because truly those parts of you that are in resistance and hurting, they need that love. They need to come back home, and they can't just be thrown out into the world and then, you know, you expect it to be gone by doing that. There's like a bigger process to it. Damn, these mozzies are crazy. So I remember Eckhart Tolle used to talk about the pain body and how that accumulates, like when we suppress certain things, like you know, anger and hatred, and like we can suppress love, and it just creates a build-up of negative energy within us. And it's like, the more that builds up, the more that becomes our state, like all the time. It's like, and once that's at its so full that it just becomes like who we are, and it's dangerous because that's not who we are. Like, of course, it's not our truth. It's not. We're living in an illusion. We're living in fear and shame and guilt and just a lot of dense emotions that aren't necessarily rooted in truth, but they're there for good reason. I say this a lot, but our darkness and traumas, there would be no liberation from that and no living freely if we didn't have that to see that we could be free in the first place, or we could be more on the other spectrum, right? So they're there for contrast, right? So that in itself shows you that, okay, so they're there for me to use as, I guess you could say, inspiration, or they're there for a catalyst. They're a catalyst for your awakening. They're a catalyst for your joy and your love. Because when you really dedicate your time and your life to really processing those traumas, and if you want to be free of those traumas and everything that comes along with that, addictions and just everything you can think of, mind went blank. I think Spirit wants me to talk about something else. So what can we do? What can we do to work with these things that we've suppressed and that we've built up, and these traumas? For me, the first step would be just being aware of it and bringing light to it, and not necessarily being in a complete rush to work things out, and just having space and allowing those things to play themselves out to a certain extent, and just having awareness of them is the first stage. But it really requires you to go against the norm for the most part, and really stop looking externally for a fix. Really looking externally for something to help you with those emotions, because that's, of course we can use our external, right, but the true work comes when we go within, and you've really got to give time to yourselves and allow that to unfold within you, because when we give space for ourselves and this process to happen naturally, things just work themselves out. So it's not necessarily something that we, everyone has a different path, right? But for me, it was kind of just going within and letting these things work out themselves, and of course working with them and using the mind as a tool and assisting in that. Also, I say this a lot, doing the things that aren't necessarily, you don't necessarily feel like doing, but in the long term they're really helping you. That could be just going out, just doing the things that your soul enjoys doing, but a lot of the times you won't necessarily feel like doing them, but when you do them, it's like it uplifts you, it gives you that power to, and that like inspiration, it gives you that inspiration to face that within you that you don't want to face. That could be going for a walk, a bush walk, going in nature, going to the beach, going out with friends, but really doing things that really, they're not, it's like we can do things that are just dopamine inducing and like just give us a hit, and or we can do the things that are more, they give us dopamine, but it's like a clean hit. It's like, you go out in the bush, you go camping, you go for a bushwalk, it could be anything, rock climbing, like just anything that you really feel drawn to do, that's not just this flood of dopamine, and you're not going out and just getting pissed and drinking, and that's a real big thing, and lifestyle habits, right? So just, it can start off so small that just making a start is everything, just that little start, and then it just like, it's like a domino effect, and that could be as well changing your diet. For me, that was like a big thing, because that takes a lot of our energy, and it takes, especially when we're eating bad, it takes a lot of our power away to to really do the inner work and really work on ourselves, it takes a lot of our energy away for that. Like, you know, watching what you drink and just everything you put in your body, substances, you know, you've really like it. But you know, it's about taking baby steps. You can't expect to have overnight success and just everything be fixed all at once. It's and I understand anyone that's going through a lot or has a lot of suppressed things, and I understand that. I've been there. Oh, there's an ant on the camera. Might be able to see him. But yeah, like, and give yourself space to feel whatever you're feeling, like, and even if you do suppress certain things, just being able to see that you're suppressing it is like such a huge step, because if you can't see it in the first place, it's like, well, of course it's gonna rule your life, and of course it's gonna dim your spirit, and you know, of course, because you're not even like, there's no awareness to it, and you're just like, it's just, you're just living in karmic situations. You're you know, if you want to live uniquely and do the things you love, then you've got to bring awareness to your life and what's bringing you down, and really make a stand for it. That's how I feel. But and when you do start this process of really going inward and working on yourself, it's like, it takes time. It really does. It's not something that, for some people, you know, there's the people that are in such a grim situation that they just snap into, you know, a different reality. But for me, it was a slow, drawn out process of just letting myself be in the darkness and letting myself really, like, not, you know, letting myself go into those patterns and seeing those patterns and bringing love and awareness to those patterns, and then naturally they fell away. But it's more to it than that. It's a long process. It's got to work itself out. You've got to give time for yourself and really hold space for these dense emotions to really work themselves out. Bro, these mozzies are adamant on my blood. They want me. They want... Oh gosh. Yeah, so for me, like, I really, not that I've always felt this, but like, since I was, you know, a teenager, and I wanted to be there for people. I wanted to be a light for humanity. I wanted to live my life full and free. And for me to do that, it took me really going within and seeing what was holding me back from being free and being a light for others and being a guide for others. And I feel like I've done a lot of that work, and there's always, you know, there's more work to do, and every day there's more and more stuff coming up, like, but I have so much, like, joy and, like, love and, like, gratitude in my heart now, whereas when I was living in resistance and suppressing things, I didn't, you know, that was like, having love in my heart was like, you know, it was like, I didn't even, you know, it was just such a, I was in resistance to everything, and I didn't have the love and gratitude and the joy I have now. But that was necessary for me to really, now that I'm here, I'm like, I'm so grateful, like, that I've went through that, so I can have contrast of like, what do I want for my life from now on? Do I want to go back into that and seeing the things I've seen through people around me? Do I want to do the rest of my life, you know, in darkness? No. No way. No way. Like, it's just so obvious for me that, like, I don't want to live a life like mainstream, and I don't want to do the things a lot of people are doing. But I've found that when I've done the healing and I've done so much of it, that I just naturally, like, attract what my vibration is, and I bring in more people that connect with me and are deeper. And it's like, when you do the work, then spirit gifts you with what you deserve, because you've been courageous enough to face that darkness that's been holding you down and come back into your true nature. And it's really powerful. Like, you really come back into your power and see who you are beyond this personal identity, and yeah, it's like, it's a lot, and it's beautiful. Really, it is. Like, it's so, the whole process is so beautiful. Even, you know, the moments of despair and unworthiness and fear and all of that, it has its beauty. Even if we can't see that, it has its lessons. And it's yeah, life's a trip, man. It's a beautiful trip. It is. Even if we're going through things that are like, what the, you know, what like, just crazy stuff, man. Just stuff that, yeah. Especially if you're on this, oh, we're back in business. Oh, maybe we're not. Maybe I should just hold it. Like, okay. Jeez. When we're on this path, it can be so hard. Like, that it can be really hard. Like, I know that, and it's like we're dealt a hard hand so that we can really have contrast. We can really see that darkness, and we can use that to inspire ourselves and inspire others and live a life that we want to live. And yeah, it's like life breaks us down with so much so we can experience the other side of that, so we can experience the love and joy and greatness and beauty to life. So I respect you. If you've made it this far and this resonates with you, thanks for watching. Yeah, cheers. Appreciate you guys. For anyone that's watching, I really appreciate you. I'm sending you my love and my gratitude, and just sending you all my good energy. I appreciate you. Thanks, guys. He's hidden. Oh, I don't know if you saw him. I love butterflies. They're so beautiful. Let's have a look at your little spot here. Oh. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. I know I am, being out in nature. I always love being out here. Even though the mozzies are after me, they really want me They want my blood. Ow. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Oh my. Making a mess here. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Oh, damn, we got a squatter. I wonder if anyone's here. Damn, oh, it's a snake. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's gone. Damn. Might have to come out here and squat and live out. No, I don't think so. But yeah, just showing you guys my nice little spot here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Enjoy your day.